Have you ever been pleasantly surprised by a skincare product? Today, I'm reviewing skincare products that I did not expect to like, but ended up loving. Hey, I'm Dr. Sam Ellis, and I'm a board-certified medical and cosmetic dermatologist in Northern California. I'm here to help you understand your skin and find products that work for you. So if that sounds good, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I was inspired to do this video because several months ago, I got a skincare product in PR and I took it right away to my Instagram stories and was like, I don't think I'm really gonna use this, or maybe I'll just use it on my body. It was a facial product, but I don't really see myself using this because it doesn't seem practical. And then over the subsequent months, I used the product and was like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. But then I never talked about it again. And I feel like I need to give these types of skincare products their justice. So I'm going to review products that I initially saw in PR and thought, it's not a bad product, I like the company, but maybe it's not for me, and then ended up loving them. So without further ado, let's get into the products. And first up, I have the NATURIUM Glow Getter Multi-Oil Body Wash. And if you've seen my Instagram stories anytime recently, you'll be like very surprised by this because I talk about how much I love this product all the time. But what I didn't mention is that when I initially got it in PR, I thought I will never use that. I feel kind of bad for saying this because I'm a dermatology advisor for NATURIUM and I love so many of their products, but every once in a while, even in amazing skincare lines, you'll get access to a product that maybe doesn't inspire you. And for me, with body washes, I tend to like things that foam up and lather and give you sort of that true cleansed feeling. And although I think oil body washes are amazing for some patients, especially if they have dry skin, I don't typically enjoy that experience. And a lot of that is because oftentimes these oil-based cleansers leave a residue on the skin that I personally find unpleasant. But I have to say, this body wash really blew me away. I only ended up grabbing it out of my PR section because I was looking for a shaving cream and I thought, oh, an oil body wash, that will serve well as a shaving lubricant, which it did. It served amazingly well for that purpose. But then of course I went to put it on the rest of my body as a body wash and I was just amazed. Now I didn't get this big, rich, foamy lather and I expected that. But the thing I loved about it is that even though it was very light on the foam, it made my skin feel so nourished. And when I went to rinse it away, I loved that it didn't leave behind a slick of oil or film. My skin felt moisturized, but not suffocated and definitely not stripped. And then the aroma of this is delicious. I've really never smelled anything like it. It must be how the fruit extracts in there are sort of combining with one another. It smells vanilla-y, but then there's some buttery notes and sort of some fruity overtones. It's amazing. And the thing that's most important about this particular scent is that it doesn't linger on the skin. So you get this sort of experience while you're in the shower, but then that scent rinses away so that if you use fragrance in your hair care products or you like to wear perfume, it doesn't compete with that. And I think that's really unique and very nice. Perhaps needless to say, this has become one of my absolute favorite body washes, especially if you have dry or dehydrated skin. The combination of glycerin and plant oils in here is just so nourishing, but also cleansing, and you really can't ask for more than that in a body wash. All right, moving on. My next item is not actually a skincare product, it's more of a tool, and that is this reusable makeup removal pad. This is from a company called BAEBROW. They sent me a brow gel that I absolutely fell in love with, but now I love their pads too. Now, a lot of people use these to take their makeup off, and that's actually not how I use it. And the reason I had never purchased these before is because I'm not a huge fan of physical exfoliation, and although these makeup eraser pads are very good at removing makeup, I often find that you need to tug a lot on the skin to remove that makeup, and I think there's just more gentle ways to do it. But I use this a little bit differently. I actually started using these in the shower to take off my body sunscreen, especially on days where I'm wearing lots of water-resistant sunscreen. I was finding that even my best body washes were not removing it, and then I would have to go in with my harsh washcloth, and I just felt like my skin was a little bit angry with me after that. And this pad is sort of perfect. It's soft enough that it doesn't feel like it's tugging on your body skin, but it does get the job done of removing that residue. I'm also not a huge fan of washcloths because after you've used them in your shower or bath, they just sort of hang out there and remain moist and collect bacteria and mildew. And then with your next shower, you kind of go back in and put that on your skin. And there's a little bit of an ick factor there for me. So I love that these are small and I just use one at a time. And when I use it, I then toss it in with my laundry. And I don't use them with every shower. I really save them for when I have body makeup on or I have a lot of water resistant sunscreen and I just need a little more oomph from my cleanse. I also use these days to clean my baby. So I have an almost 8-month-old at this point. And these are perfect because sometimes, again, a washcloth can be a little bit gross, a little bit abrasive, and these are just soft, and so they're gentle on his skin. He enjoys getting washed with them, and especially when I use sunscreen on him, I definitely want to remove that at the end of the day, and these are perfect. Next up is the product that inspired this entire video, and it's the Glytone Enhance Brightening Cleansing Powder. And this is the one I thought, I am never going to use that. Some of you might be watching this going, why wouldn't you just try every single thing that's sent to you? You can't physically try everything and give it a fair shake, and so you have to be a bit selective with what intrigues you, what you think you'll love, what people are asking about, and that's sort of what guides how I choose what products I prioritize. And I ended up grabbing this because Glytone as a brand has made so many products that I have fallen in love with, and I thought I would give this one a chance. It is a bit unusual to use the first few times. You take the cap off and you dump a little bit of powder in your hands, and it is very reminiscent of powdered soap. This is really gonna date me, but you know in elementary school, you used to get this like pink powdered soap. It actually is very similar to that, but it's not pink, it's white. You mix it with a little bit of water to sort of activate it, and then you massage it into your skin for about 60 seconds. And this is a beautiful physical and chemical exfoliant. So you get that physical exfoliation from the very fine grit of the powder, but then this has malic acid and mandelic acid and glycolic acid to give that chemical exfoliation as well. And I feel like this is just such a lovely way to exfoliate your skin if you crave physical exfoliation, but you also know that chemical exfoliation is probably something you should be doing as well. And the other reason I thought I wasn't going to like this is because I have rosacea and my skin can be finicky and a little bit sensitive, and I thought that combination of acids plus the physical exfoliation would be too much. But I found that when I use this, and I typically use it in my shower, that my skin just feels very soft afterward. I don't really have any stinging that I sometimes get with other chemical exfoliants, so very impressed by that. Even with this being a surprisingly gentle exfoliant, I do take issue that the packaging says that this should be used twice a day, every day. I really feel like that's overkill. My personal recommendation would be to use this 1 to 2 times a week. If you're someone who participates in skin cycling, where you're incorporating an exfoliation step once every 3 to 6 days, this could be awesome as your exfoliation. Let's move on to the next skincare product that pleasantly surprised me, and that is the Cream Skin Refiner Mist by Laneige. Never in my life did I think I would use some type of spray moisturizer, but now I am that person. I think the reason I didn't expect to like this is because it just felt a little bit gimmicky to me. I couldn't really think of a time where I would use this instead of my traditional moisturizer, but turns out there are a lot of times. For example, and this is how I first started incorporating this refiner mist into my routine, is when I wake up in the morning and I'm gonna go work out immediately, I don't do my full skincare routine. I usually just splash water on my face and go work out. But I was finding when I just did the water on my face and didn't put anything on afterward, my face was feeling tight and dry during my workout. And when I would go in and put moisturizer on after I cleansed my face in the morning, my skin felt heavy and kind of sticky, and I just didn't like that feeling when I was sweating during my workout. And so this refiner mist sort of was the Goldilocks spot for moisturization. So now in the morning, I wake up, I splash some water on my face, I put on this mist, and then I go work out. And that is the perfect amount of hydration without making my skin feel weighed down or just kind of icky. The other way I like to use this is in the evening after I've cleansed my face, but before I put my tretinoin or whatever retinoid I'm using that night on my face. Now, oftentimes I can put my tretinoin or other retinoid directly on my skin and I have no problem. But occasionally when my rosacea is acting up, or I've had some sun exposure, or my skin's just feeling a little bit I don't want to put a full-on moisturizer on before I do my retinoid. I find for me, I don't feel like my retinoid's as effective that way, although research shows that you can put a moisturizer on before your retinoid and it's okay. But for me, I don't really enjoy doing that. But I like using the mist as sort of a hydrating, moisturizing step that doesn't feel thick or heavy before I go in with my retinoid. And again, it helps me strike that balance of hydrating the skin, but not making it feel occluded or stifled. I just have a couple more products to go over. If you like this video and want more videos like this in the future, go ahead and give this a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. For this next product, it's not that I didn't think I would like it. It's from a brand that tends to make some pretty incredible formulations, but it is a non-prescription retinoid. And I almost exclusively use prescription retinoids in my routine, like tretinoin or tazarotene or adapalene. And it takes a lot. It takes a very special product for me to incorporate a non-prescription retinoid. Are you just on the edge of your seat wanting to know what this product is now? It is the Ursolic Acid and Retinol Overnight Reform by Sachi. This cream is so stunning and so effective. It's a little pricier than some of the things things I recommend, but I think it is such a beautiful, beautiful product. It really sort of has an all-star cast of ingredients that are meant to tackle things like premature skin aging, irregular pigmentation, fine lines and wrinkles. And then the formula of it is just this very smooth, enriching cream that feels so good on the skin and layers well with other skincare products. The all-star ingredient in here is retinol or retinaldehyde. Retinaldehyde is sort of like the big sister of retinol. So when retinol is working in the skin to help with things like collagen production, it needs to be first converted to retinaldehyde and then converted to retinoic acid, which is actually the effective molecule. So by starting with a retinol compound, you're sort of bypassing that first conversion step. So oftentimes retinol products will be a little bit stronger, a little bit more effective, but the nice part is they're not that irritating. I think this product is really a win for people who maybe already use a retinol in their routine and are ready to step it up, or are using a retinol to help with their pigmentation and they just want a little bit more of a boost in their routine. I think this kind of covers all of your bases and really streamlines a routine. I also think it's great for people who may already use a prescription strength retinoid in their routine, like I do, but don't want to use it every night, but still want to keep up very consistent retinoid use. Using this on the off nights is great. I personally like to use this when I travel because even though I've been using tretinoin for maybe a decade now, I still sporadically will get irritation from my tretinoin for no apparent reason. And usually when I'm traveling, it's for business or for pleasure, but I don't have time to have my skin react out of nowhere. And this still gives me retinoid exposure, so I don't have to take a break in my retinoid, but it's a little bit more predictable and I don't get irritated from it. And now for my final product that I didn't think I would like, but ended up loving. It is the Evy Technology Daily Defense Face Mousse SPF 50. It's a sunscreen. So this is a Swedish brand of sunscreen. And for so long, I wanted to try it and they didn't ship to the United States, so I couldn't get my hands on it. And even though I wanted to try it, it didn't necessarily mean I thought I was going to like it, but turns out it's amazing. And the reason I didn't think I was going to like this is because it's a foam. And I've been very happy with my lotion and cream sunscreens, and a foam application just felt unnecessary. But the thing that really intrigued me about this sunscreen is that in clinical tests, it was ultra long lasting. So even with repeated water exposure and towel rubbing, it maintained its SPF. And although I feel like a lot of people, including myself, are good at putting sunscreen on once a day, we're not the best at reapplication. So if I could find a sunscreen that would maybe protect me even when I wasn't reapplying as frequently as I know I should be, I was all for it. But I also thought that maybe because it was ultra long lasting, it would feel really heavy or thick or just gross on my skin, and it doesn't. You apply it as you would sort of a foam shaving cream, but then it sort of rubs in and rubs down so quickly it doesn't leave a white cast on the skin. And the thing that maybe I like the most about this, which maybe is applicable to you, maybe not, is that it is a wonderful makeup primer. Like when I put my foundation on this, it stays. I want everyone to be able to try this sunscreen. I know that's not necessarily possible depending on where you live. I love that it now ships to the US, although the international shipping is a little bit pricey. So I would recommend just making a bulk order and then dividing it up with your friends. But this sunscreen very pleasantly surprised me. And that's a wrap on this video. As I continue to try new things, I will absolutely share my favorite discoveries. What's a product that you didn't expect to like but ended up loving? Tell me in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.